How's it going, everyone? Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live. My name is Rick Ramirez, also known as Rick's 2 Cents, along with my fellow co-host Steve from Steve Makes Everything.
Oh, y'all.
And Roger from Roger Shop.
Howdy, and if you're wondering about my hairdo tonight, it's very distinctive. It's called Blown by Unseen Winds.
Combed by Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Steve, I was going to ask if you wouldn't mind. I know I normally read a bulk of the comments, if you wouldn't mind. So I'm feeling a little under the weather, and it helped my throat to not have to read all these comments.
Yeah, well, we can do that.
Roger and I practiced all last week, so
yeah. We were pretty good at it.
We have someone new from Alaska tonight.
Yeah, Blue Snowmanac.
Welcome, if this is actually your first time.
Tony's saying hi all from Cleveland, Ohio.
And
Tony's
we have our old standby Chris from Perth down under.
Yeah, they're getting close to getting to be summertime down there.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Poughkeepsie, New York.
That name has popped up in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, JM Creative Studio, another Aussie.
Yeah.
Today from hot Queensland. And now we have all the Australians talking to each other. You can tell because it's G'day, right? It's like, who do we have?
There's Mark. What's up, everyone? And everybody out there, if you got any questions or comments, fire away. I've got a little story to tell you here when we get through some comments about something that popped up on my YouTube channel this week, but we'll get to that in a few minutes.
And if you're
Roger, how did you manage to get a tan? You look like you're tan.
I was gonna say he looked a little golden brown today.
Yeah, I have greenhouses. I can go on
you can't get a suntan inside a greenhouse.
Oh, if it's poly covered, you can.
No,
mine are not glass. Mine are covered with poly.
Yeah, you definitely have a tan.
Well, I gotta look Mexican. We're going to here to Mexico.
I was going to say, I know you're part-time Mexican, but you definitely have a tan.
You and Rick look like twins.
That's only a month away. I'll be in Mexico, so I got to make sure I can blend in.
Yeah.
I'll skip a couple of the hellos here.
Mark's asking, Chris, do you ever sleep?
Well, it's morning in Australia now.
Jim, hi from Chicago.
Jim's been really quiet. He must be on a success path now.
He's asked me about coming and visiting my shop, and that he's more than welcome to. And we kind of have a tentative kind of time set up. But I am so busy and so buried. My shop is not. It's nothing like Santa Claus's shop.
There you go. And Jim, I apologize.
The elves don't clean up.
Facebook messaged me and emailed me as well. I'm feeling a little under weather, as you can probably hear in my voice, and I can't hear out of my left ear at all. So, yeah. But I didn't join last week's live, so I thought it was important that I joined this one. Let Steve and Roger take a lead on reading the comments.
You got the COVID?
No, I tested.
You're too young for RSV, so.
No, it's just the it's the uric. Because the uric, it's making me cough and making my throat, and then gave me a pretty bad fever today.
If I have a fever, it's usually because I'm dying. I just don't get fevers very often. Oops.
Oh.
Okay, Tony's asking, how often do you do maintenance to your 3D printers, or what do you do? I do maintain the, especially in the bamboo printers, the threaded rods. I do maintain the greasing on them, and there's a reminder that pops up and when to do so. And I'm very adamant about keeping that up. And I've got little 3D printer cleaners. And
Roger, what do you use? 3-in-1?
What?
What do you use? 3-in-1?
No, it's there's a grease that bamboo actually supplied with the printers, and I have not used it all up yet.
It's a lot like Vaseline.
Yeah,
it's that texture. It's probably lithium grease or something. Well, it's not white enough for lithium grease.
So it's Steve, go ahead, Roger.
Well, things don't really. I make sure that the rods are greased, but I don't put so much on there that printer poop will stick to it. My other maintenance thing I do is on the base of all the printers, whether it be the bamboos or the Anycubic, you got pieces of filament that just drop down under the bed. And I've got a little handheld vacuum. I just suck them out, and I do keep them clean. I keep my poop boxes cleaned out, kind of like cleaning the litter box, except it doesn't smell.
I did, just before we went live here, I did have a disaster on my printer. The first one. Let me show it here. If I can figure out how to do that from here now. What the hell? Where did it go? Where's the share screen? There we go. Sorry for my delays here. This is it's a Gridfinity bin, and it looks like one of the squares must have popped off at some point. I mean, I just turned it on and left, right? Because I've printed a million things on this thing already, and they've all been perfect. But this is the first one that actually failed.
So did it stop by itself, or did you catch it like that and stop it?
It sent me a message and said, bad things are happening here.
That's what I like about the bamboo printers, is if things go awry, it'll stop it and send you a message that says, hey, is this supposed to be this way?
Yeah. And I didn't bother starting it again because I was running out of filament anyway on the white spool. So the bamboo truck doesn't arrive until tomorrow. So
Tim said, hey, Ricky, never did get my Hawaiian pizza last week.
Rick's been sick. You probably don't want a pizza from him now.
Yeah. I did have a question for you, Steve, though, since we're talking about maintenance and on the bars on your Onefinity. What do you grease them with?
3-in-1.
Okay, that's what I was going to use. Yeah.
And you don't pour it on. You just, like, I put it on a rag and then wipe the rag.
That's what I was thinking, like a blue
the precision rods,
rag.
right? You're talking about.
Yeah. Just the blue shop towel rag. But I was going to use like the
even the ball screws. I do that too.
So you'll see the video when I drop it. But I did have someone who's a 3D printer person, and they do a lot of different parts for it. And I've gotten some sneak peeks. But I have these like little brushes that are on all the spin rails. So as it moves, it actually cleans it off. So I think that'll help a little.
Yeah.
But what you always tell me, you're not making sawdust.
They don't actually get that dirty.
Right. No, that's what I was going to say. When you tell me you're not making sawdust, you're making chips. And if you're making sawdust, something's wrong.
Yeah. Well, the precision rods, the bearing has has a big cover on the end anyway, so nothing gets in there. And the ball screws, they kind of have the same thing, but like a ball screw is not nearly as precise as a precision rod, right? Especially those big 2-inch things that are on there.
Right. No, I figured I'd ask you. Bob said it's CNC longer than me. So
yeah, I mean, every once in a while I'll take the compressor and I'll blow all the crap off and then put some 3-in-1 oil on. But they don't actually get that dirty. Star of Texas, guess where he's from?
Hello from Houston.
I was a little disappointed, though. It's not in a metal can anymore. It's plastic.
Mine's in a metal can.
Really?
Yeah, you guys can't afford steel anymore, I guess.
Yeah, if you want a metal can, you got to go to Canada to get it.
Yeah. Nothing but the best, man. We got all this steel. We got nothing to do with nothing to do with it.
You guys ever smell something and it just brings you back to a memory? 3-in-1 just reminds you of like my grandpa's garage. Like,
Yeah.
It's funny.
Oh,
sorry.
Radu, he's in Milwaukee tonight.
Yeah.
Man, he's got to get home once in a while.
Making that money.
You'll have to read this one, Rick, because it's from Jose.
Jose Juan said, hello.
So Jose Juan, where are you from?
He doesn't want you to know.
Isn't he a friend of yours? He's a friend of yours, though, right, Rick?
Trade Skills Anonymous. Evening, everyone. Hoping everyone is doing amazing. So far, so good.
Well, except for my 3D printer fail, I'm doing okay.
David of Blue Wave Designs. Hello from Mississippi.
Is that a new name? That's a new name.
And if anybody's wondering why we read the comments, it's because some people listen to this and do not actually watch it. So they don't know what's going on if otherwise. So we do read the comments for those that just listen.
You can't bear
We
to
do get a
watch three ugly old guys and, well, two ugly old guys and one sick guy. So they just listen.
Radu, evening all. David, good day from South Milwaukee.
Well, he's close. You should buy Radu a beer.
Yeah, Wisconsin's getting represented pretty good tonight.
Hmm. There we go. Can
North
call.
Texas.
Nope,
It says can call Roger Juan Jeremy.
oh, I get it.
Yeah, I get that too. You got to be like our age to know who Ron Jeremy was or is, but unfortunately, I'm not quite that size.
Yeah. See, somebody told me about him one day. Otherwise, I wouldn't know.
North
Wesley,
Carolina.
hello from North Carolina, a very tree-filled state. Who else we got here?
Oh, Harold's asking, am I streaming? Yes, and it should be on my channel. It was set up on there. Of course, I didn't do it till late today, because I got sidetracked with a bunch of other stuff. Actually, I was in a tattoo parlor for about half the day getting a new tattoo. So
you going to take your pants off and show us?
I don't have to take them off. I could show it.
You got a tattoo?
Yeah, I can show it here, and I don't have to take my pants off to do it. But I do have to pull my.
They can write on rice. They can write on anything.
I'll have to. It's still wrapped in plastic too, and I may have to move the camera so you can see it. So I don't know if I get my leg up. If I was 20 years old, I could get my leg up higher. But,
take it off.
Ah.
Is it a picture of Steve? Hold on.
It's a bird of some sort.
Yeah, it's a parrot. It's a parrot holding a margarita, wearing sunglasses.
Nice.
You got that so it would be there in time for the Mexican trip?
Absolutely. So that's my latest tattoo edition here. You say it's fresh, so it's still wrapped in plastic.
So those who are Hispanic want you to know that Roger is honorary Mexican. So when he makes certain comments, understand that he's coming from someone who's 50% of the time he lives in Mexico. So no backlash. You got it?
Well, unfortunately, we can't be down there for El Dia de Muertos, but which is Day of the Dead for those who don't speak Spanish. Normally, we're down there for that, which is November 2nd, which is I'll explain it again for those that are new on here. That is not a Halloween thing. That is a sacred day for those people of the Mexican heritage that honor their ancestors.
And it's not demonic or anything to do with the devil. And
no, it's not satanic. It's it's all about honoring your ancestors.
And anyone who is friends with any kind of Mexican knows that about 90% of us are Catholic. So, and that's without choice, right? We're we're a God-fearing people. So, yeah. Yeah.
Jose says he's trying to sell his comm marker Mopa B4 60 watt. What's a good price to sell it for? I don't know anymore.
Jose, my whole thing is that I wouldn't say what's a good price to sell it for. I'd say what's a good price to sell it locally. And the reason that I'm saying that is because right now with all the tariffs and the shipping costs being ridiculous, if you could sell it locally on Facebook Marketplace and someone's going to drive to your house and pick it up, that's probably your best bet for two reasons. One, someone has to pay shipping costs. And two, you don't have to worry about a scammer filing a PayPal claim or some kind of claim or dispute, because let's be honest, just unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are like that. So I would definitely attempt to sell it locally without shipping at all. And I think you get your both the best bang for your buck and without being scammed. I don't know if you guys have any input on that.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And I do sell a few things on Marketplace, usually when I want to actually liquidate, and I'll put a decent price on it. And I'll also put on there, this price is firm. Don't even try to dicker.
Yeah.
If you want to dicker, the price will go up.
The only thing I would say there is if I was selling anything on Marketplace, they wouldn't be coming to my house. I'd be selling lasers out of the trunk of my car in a Starbucks parking lot or something.
Yeah.
I would say that I don't have any worrisome coming to my house. Let's put it that way. Just make sure you have IDs if you have bad intentions, so they can ID you when they pick your body up.
Oh, I like this. Great Lakes Laser Supplies. What's up, old guys? I
Oh.
fall into that category right there.
Stab me in the heart, man.
I mean, I am an official geezer.
There you go.
Yeah, see, I'm too young to be a geezer.
ATB Marketing's asking, can you make a 3D printer or 3D printer parts with a 3D printer?
Yes.
Working. Yeah, you can.
I've done that a couple of times. 3 times.
There's things on what's that? Make it yourself site that I can't think of it offhand.
Instructables.
Yeah, Instructables. There's stuff on there if you want to do something like that.
Well, I was laughing when I saw they said like you purchase this 3D printer, the first thing you should print is like a poop chute. There was like all like 6 different things that were typicals of once you have a 3D printer that you should print for your own 3D printer.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing you have to print is a benchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a benchy that I made big size. I can't really show it tonight, but it's full of little benchies.
Explain what a benchy is, Roger. I don't even know what that is.
It's a little ship. I don't know if I can get my camera zoomed over there.
Yeah, I used to have one in here.
See if I can get it over there.
I have about a dozen of them sitting beside the Fiber Seeker 3 that I did the review on this week.
Working on here trying to get.
There's one. That pink one in there.
So the black thing you see is there a great big benchy, and then there's a whole bunch of little benchies sitting on top of it. It's sitting behind another printer, so it's kind of hard to see.
The reason, by the way, it's called a benchy is because it's a benchmarking tool.
Yeah.
So it measures dimensions as well as the ability to make circles, infills, all those kinds of things.
And it'll give you an idea on how well your printer is performing, and if everything is calibrated correctly, you'll be able to see if you have
Roger, scroll up really quick. Leave it zoomed in. I want to ask you a question.
Scroll up.
Yeah. Are those go down?
What's the AMS?
3D printer. Are those little digital displays? Is that humidity detectors? What is that?
Yes, every one of those has a humidity detector on it.
And that came that way, or you put that on? That came that way, or you put that on?
No, I put this in, and I need to change the desiccant in my AMSs because I'm at 33% humidity in the AMS, so I need to change the desiccant in it. But the humidity in the air down here right now is at 47%.
So what is typical for that to be inside there?
I like to keep my inside the AMS. I like to keep it under 20.
Oh wow, really low.
So I got one of my AMSs. In fact, I think it's still sitting there. I got it down to 2%.
Wow.
The thing, it's got to be like the desert in there.
So Roger, how is that mounted? Is there a hole drilled through, and that's how it's getting the reading, or how's it?
No, it's a 3D printed thing you can make.
Yeah, this is one of the second things you print is the little baskets to hold the desiccant that fits in between the spools. I've now done this for both of mine, and I actually baked my desiccant the other day, which is why it's the humidity so low in there. It's the desiccant has the ability to sop up so much. It's crazy. Like it was about almost, well, it was over 10% weight disappeared when I baked it.
Oh wow, Roger, I thought you had said that you microwave yours. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah. You take these are one of the baskets. This is get over here. This is an example of one of the baskets. This one is actually for the ACE, but not for the bamboo MS. And then you use this stuff here.
Oh,
is that the blue stuff? He's gone. Oh, where'd he go?
And it will turn pink when it's time to recharge it. and you just put it in the microwave or in the oven, and you can re-dry it and put it right back in again.
Cobalt or something, and it's really not good for you.
Yeah, you don't want to eat it, but
Well, no, even heating it.
I like
They
that.
tell you to use the orange stuff that turns black when it needs to be recharged.
well, the microwave I use for this is out in the loft. I don't use the one in the house, so there's nobody out there anyway. I use that on all of our 3D printers, and I also use it with my airbrush, and I use it with my gun I use that I shoot fiberglass gel coat with.
Oh, so Blue Snowmanac asks, what would you choose for a starter CO2 laser that doesn't require much work, mainly wanting to do acrylic, budget's around $2,000. Okay. Now he does explain the name here. It's Blue Snowman Ack, as in Alaska.
Okay.
Now it makes sense. Okay.
My starter CO2 is actually the one I'm still using. It's a Monport K40, and it had a few issues with the digital displays, but they're like $15 on Amazon. You can replace them. But otherwise, it's just been a workhorse. I have no problems with it.
Yeah,
very easy to line.
Are you going to get it for $2,000 though?
Yes.
I don't know what their price is now. I mean, I've got mine with a chiller. I bought the chiller with mine.
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? The chiller alone is going to cost you $500.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So that when you're saying like you have a budget for a CO2 laser, you got to remember that what's going to come along with that CO2, what added expenses are with that. And to me, what added expenses would be an external exhaust, especially because you're saying you're going to do acrylic work. You definitely want to have that externally vented. So you're going to want to have some type of fan, and then you're going to definitely want some type of cooler. Now, if you have a chiller or a cooler, what it's, that's up to you, the two different versions. But the Monport K40, I think that's going to be your most budget friendly, because and I'm saying Monport because if you do a search for K40, you're going to find all different versions of the K40. And the Monport K40 to me is a pre-modded K40. And when I say pre-modded, it's everything that you'd buy a K40 modded to do. It came that way.
And it will work with Lightburn.
Yeah,
the new ones all work with Lightburn. The original ones didn't. I had to upgrade the motherboard of mine to work with Lightburn, but
yeah, you need the Ruida controller, not that.
Right. So it has the upgraded motherboard. It has, the upgraded power supply. Everything that you would do upgraded, it's going to come that way. The only thing that I would say that a Monport K40, the one thing you may want to do is, and I've been telling them since day one, is I don't understand why they don't have air assist. It'd be not. Roger actually, I believe you have air assist in yours.
I added that to mine. I also added an elevator to mine, which was just a little lift table that I take out the base plate and I can put the lift table down in the bottom because you can't move you have no Z axis adjustment on a K40. So you need to adjust something down below. So if you're doing something thick, you'll need to be able to take. You can take the base plate right out. It's easy.
Yeah.
And they make these little lift tables that got a little screw on them, and you can lift them up and down and adjust your focus. And I mean, it's easy. Of course, so the only thing I'd use mine for anymore is for acrylic. It's the only thing I use it for, but for the most part, other than fabric once in a while. But it's fantastic to cut denim if you're into that. But if you need to cut fabric, I mean, you want to cut patterns out in denim or you're doing quilting. I've done that for a lady and wanted a bunch of denim squares cut from old jeans to do some quilt she was doing. So yeah, it's good for that. But
and to be completely transparent, both Roger and I are Monport affiliates. However, we never recommend a product itself that we don't personally use or wouldn't have purchased with our own money. So if you are looking to purchase, I would suggest you reach out to Roger or I, because we can give you an affiliate code and maybe in some type of discount code as well.
Yeah, and the only negative thing I will have to say about Monport is their tech support isn't like A1. It's way better than Creality, but you're not going to get an instant reply.
Wouldn't,
You
wouldn't
might have
be
to
a
wait a
live
couple
stream.
days.
Wouldn't be a live stream unless you were picking on Creality.
Oh, of course.
So as it happens, Momport has a complete package. It's a 45-watt desktop CO2 16 by 12 inch bed with a camera. Also includes probably the 3000 chiller, so it's not an actual chiller, but a rotary, a license for light burn, and whatever the hell that last thing is, and it's $2,000 on the nose.
Yeah,
Perfect.
it's like I
Yeah,
say,
and-
I have had no problems with my Monport, and yes, the mirrors have to be aligned from time to time, and yes, you have to clean the lens, and it's and maintenance like on anything else, but
Yeah.
it's not difficult.
The one thing that I would say is that Momport, X Tool, you start seeing these bigger names. Forget the manufacturers. Forget them. And the reason I'm saying that is because they have such a following that if you have a problem, there's 25 Facebook groups. You can go online, and trust me, if you've had a problem, someone else has had it before.
Yeah,
So-
if they've
so
sold
that's-
more than 10 lasers, then someone
So
else will
that's-
have the same
Yeah,
problem.
so
you
that's really an advantage. Like I understand the manufacturers should be supporting their products, but what I'm saying is that when you're purchasing a product that has a community, that makes a huge difference. So buy a Momport.
Yeah, I'm surprised you can do it for 2,000. Now I don't know if this is like it's on sale, so it's normally 3,500, which is
There you
pretty
go.
big discount. But yeah, you can do it right now. I'm not sure who Chris is saying can't have aluminum cans. He must be talking about you guys because we got aluminum coming out of our eyes. Yeah, but that came from Mexico.
Yeah, but
Well, Daryl,
I'm doing the dihydrogen monoxide tonight with.
Yeah, if I was drinking this, I'd be coughing the entire time. So I have to be slowly sipping, as my voice sounds like I have a frog in it. I called my
Grand
boss
Rapids,
today. And I told him,
Michigan. Glad
Go
to see you guys. Great Lakes Laser Supply. Welcome.
yeah, I called my boss today and told him, hey man, I'm headed home, bro. I'm burning up with a fever. He was like, dude, you sound bad. I said, I'm telling you.
I find since I don't work in an office anymore, I don't get sick anymore, which is fantastic.
And to be honest, I think that's what it is. Like you're in these cubicles, then you hear these people just like dying on the other side of the wall. It makes me laugh. It reminds me of Denny's. Remember when you go into Denny's, they used to have these signs that said like no smoking. You're sitting there with your family, and like right on the other side of this glass is like this guy smoking away inside. Yeah, as if that was supposed to be the non-smoking versus the smoking section.
Well, it's not as bad as airplanes, but
yeah, that's what it reminds me of. This.
Yeah, I mean, you got
a
a young kid too. Like is little Ricky in school yet?
Yeah, he's in kindergarten now.
Yeah, so he'll bring home every disease that is
man. Yeah.
So I'm at it again and saying, question on a CO2 laser honeycomb bed. What do you do to clean yours and how often? I clean my honeycomb beds, whether it be on my CO2 or on the Dell lasers, with a pressure washer, just with water and nothing else.
Yeah.
And it's fast, it's easy because I have a pressure washer. And how often I do it? If I start seeing flashback on the back of my work, I will know it's time to clean the honeycomb bed.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I do.
Or if your car is dirty.
When you're way past due, that's when I
Yeah.
do it. The thing is when you see the designs all in black around everything.
Yeah,
and it
you
has
see
like
the honeycomb on the back of everything you cut.
Yeah.
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 Jose's from
Hey,
Colombia.
Say he's in Colombia, but I live in Florida. So you're from Colombia. Okay, that's cool.
Nice.
Herb is
Yeah.
saying hi from California.
I guess the name
That's
makes
probably
more sense
Canada,
now.
actually.
Oh, well.
We have a CA too. It's our
Oh,
whole
yeah.
country.
I thought the name was Herb Browning as an herb, right? So I thought either Canada or California would be appropriate.
Yeah, Bozzy Trucker saying, and this is the reason I mentioned and why we read the comments, because I do listen because I'm driving. And that is the whole thing of why we read the comments, so that those people that are just listening, and there's a lot of them, will know what's going on.
And I'm sure many people on the freeway are glad he's listening.
Cheers from Blissfield.
New Brunswick. Wow.
Oh, that tripped me for a minute, the NB, but
It sounds like the nicest place on earth, Blissfield.
Yeah.
It's happy.
Hmm.
I haven't been, but found it.
Found it.
What
were
was
you
locked?
Were you looking for Nemo? I got Nemo right here.
And all of his brothers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dave was asking, do I have barbed wire tattooed on my biceps?
Oh, here we
No.
go. No.
I don't. Not on either
You
side.
know what? You know what? I
that's
do
a
have.
90 That's a 90s thing. I don't have that.
You know what I do has to on my right arm. I have the what the hell do they call it? Tribal tattoo, right? It's like the all the way down this arm, the tribal. That was like the big '90s thing, like you said, Roger.
Yeah. No, the barbed wire thing was a 90s thing, and I was not into it then. I do have another one besides the one I just got. I do have one on my other leg of palm trees in the sand, but
So
okay.
So as you know, Jose, you should know you get great help from other people who watch the live stream. Radu says your laser's worth $50. He'll be right over.
I tell you what, I'll if we're gonna have an auction, I'll up it to 75.
I'll go to 100. Even pay the shipping.
Oh man.
Tim says Canister CNC are going into receivership. Looks like Steve's predictions are starting. Well, I didn't predict the CNC market, but it's one and the same. Like shop technology, there's only so much of it they can sell to people, right? And I think the diode laser business just got a real boost during COVID because everybody was sitting around at home going, what do I do now? I should be working, but I don't want to, so I'll go buy a laser, right? But CNCs too, some of the low end CNCs, they're all going to go away, all those 3018s, because they're just basically you're paying for disappointment. So they won't last long.
You know, by the same token, the low end entry level $99 lasers are they're no more. The off brands,
they're all gone.
They're all gone. Yeah, those companies are just folding it up.
Yeah, I mean, if I was blue skying the whole prediction business, I would say that within maybe 2 years, there's going to be 5 or 6 big diode laser companies, and the cheapest laser they'll have will be a $1,500 job.
Whether it's right or wrong, I would say manufacturers do follow trends as well. And for whatever reason or another, all of a sudden they all decide to come out with these minis, right?
Yeah. Well, that was a desperation move, though, right? Like they were trying to sell stuff and not lose their shirt, right? Because big lasers were losing money on them.
So I think as they pushed out the little guys or the no-namers, the well-known names, established companies tried to make an entry level to compete with the no-namers. But I just think that was a wrong call, to be honest.
I'll agree with that because I had so many offers from some of the big name companies. You know, here we got this little laser that'll do 100 millimeter square and it's 5 watts. And why are you making that?
Well, it's the small ones that are 3 watts. It's like, who the hell wants that thing? Right? You are not going to learn on anything on it. It's too small to do anything practical. So why would you pay money for it?
Yeah, I turned down 3 of them, and then one of them even offered me a fair amount of money to do it.
Well, I've turned down a lot of them too. I told them, I said, I am just not interested.
Yeah.
You know, show me something in a decent class 1, and I'll be more than happy to review it and demonstrate it. But these little bitty things, low powered, the market's not there for it.
Right, and I say I did start my first diode laser was a 5 watt, a Tesla P5. I made a ton of money with it. I did a ton of work with it. You know, Steve was one of the ones who kept saying, like, you got to remember that the higher wattage you go is the bigger the head, right? So some of these,
the bigger the spot size.
The bigger the beam on it.
So as I was making these finer detailed things, he's like, you're doing that because, you're using the 5 watt. Would you get the same results with a 45 or 60 watt? Probably not. But but I also wasn't cutting wood. I was engraving wood. You see the tail end of a lineman sign that's right behind me. That was made with a 5-watt laser.
And I've done a lot of work here lately. I did a whole bunch of coaster holders on the longer B1, and it's all cut out of 1/8" plywood. And I mean, I did 100 of them, and the kerf on a B1 is a little bit bigger than what you would get on a like an Artura or a Ray 5. But you account for that. You make a couple test cuts, account for your kerf, and get your slots all lined up, and you just go. But to go back to something like a 5-watt or a 10-watt, I couldn't do it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Camister's not like the super cheap guys in the CNC world, right? These guys are like professional guys. And the problem is they're getting clobbered by things like the Onefinity, like the Shapeoko, the
Alt mill.
CNC Lab one, the Alt Mill, because they're pretty darn good for the money. And I mean, I had this experience. I went to a local tool show not that long ago, and there was a CNC guy there, and it might have been Camister actually. And I said, he was trying to sell me one, and it was like, I don't know, it was like a 18 by 18 inch thing, and it was $12,000 or something. And I said, well, I already got a CNC. He said, what do you have? I said, well, I have a Onefinity Elite. Oh, well, if you want to have a toy, well, okay, I can build everything on it that you can build on this and more, right? And it's like, I mean, when you're selling a $20,000 CNC, you can't be arrogant, right? Like, you're in desperate times because money's getting tight.
Yes.
Chris here is saying he generally sells my lasers that have been well maintained for 80% of the cheapest price he can find. And I am kind of in that same ballpark when I do sell lasers. Most of them I will give away to certain organizations or relatives, but I have sold quite a few of them because, I mean, I still have too many of them.
Yes.
And I've got my go-to ones, the ones I use, and then I got a whole bunch of them on a rack that just sit there to collect dust.
Yeah. So
any of the review ones I do, if I do sell them, which 50% of the time maybe, it's like half price.
Yep. I sold it for half.
Right.
I sold either we gave them away in our lives, the ones that I had, or I sold them for half to some of our actual subscribers.
Yeah.
Like Santa's laser engraving, I sold some of my lasers to him.
Yeah, I mean, the big problem is space, right? Like, I mean, I've got this Carvera Air sitting. I boxed it back up, but it's still sitting in my shop. I mean, it's, I don't know, $3,000. If somebody came and offered me $1,000 for it to take it away, as someone local, I would sell it. It would be gone because I don't need it and I don't have room for it.
Right. So I have another, a Pixie, the one you did the review on already.
Yeah,
it's sitting here. I'm gonna do that review, and then I'm gonna give it away.
The 10-watt one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they asked me about that one too, and I was like, well, I already did the 5-watt. It's not going to be dramatically different.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's a nice little laser, but again, it's I'll say it's the one and only small footprint laser that I'm going to review.
And while we're going to talk about the lasers here, I do have a laser we're going to give away on our 100th live stream. And it's class 4. It's not a class 1. But by the same token, I've got a MechPow class 1 that I am going to use and take down to educate kids on what lasers do. We've got a thing set up at one of the organizations here locally where they'll have a group of teenagers. I don't want 5-year-olds there, but we're going to have a group of teenagers that want to see how lasers work. And I've talked to the chaplain of the company or the organization, and it's as long as it's safe and the kids aren't going to get blinded by it. I says it's a class 1. If you open the cover up, it stops. It happens to be made by MechPow. It's good laser, but it's not something that I use on a regular basis. But I'm thinking about if this works out, I'm going to donate it to the organization so that these kids could get more experience with some of the new technology and how laser works, and maybe make some little gadgets and widgets. And
I donated I think a Laser Master 3 actually to a local youth development group. They do a lot of art stuff. Like I'm talking like theater and things, but they also have a maker space that they just built, and I donated one to them for the same reason, right? It's like, let's get kids excited about engineering and doing things that aren't playing video games, right? So
Yeah.
So it's probably time to actually, that was a while ago. It's probably time to think about giving them something new now. But
we did a thing last Sunday with a local organization here, a charitable organization, fraternity, where we had it was like kids Halloween Day, kids, and they had what I call truck or treat. So a bunch of the members of the organization would have their cars parked out with the trunks open, and they could do their trick or treating thing there. But in the past, all they had was some pumpkins to paint. Well, this year I grew pumpkins for the organization that the kids could paint, and we supply the paint. And my granddaughter and her husband also assisted with this. Thank goodness, because we have 46 kids. But I laser cut a whole bunch of little pumpkins, and the kids could sit and paint them and decorate them whatever they wanted, and put their names on them. And I mean, it went over. There was nothing left over. I mean, everybody was just thrilled
Cool.
about it and want to know what we could do next. So we have some things planned for January. We're going to make these little squirrel picnic tables.
Those things.
I don't have one handy here, but I've shown them before. It's a little miniature picnic table you screw to a tree and put an ear of corn on it, and then the squirrels come and snack on it. Or you can put bird feed in it and feed the birds, either one. But have it, it's a thing to get the parents and the kids involved, to get the kids away from the video games and their phones, and have the parents interact with the kids, or whether it be parents or grandparents, or sometimes both. We're going to assemble these things, and they can then paint them however they want and decorate them whatever they want. And so we've got a lot of things going on for a lot of the organizations here. And I'm going to put out to you makers out there, get involved with some of your charities, because if you get involved with some of the charities, people will, well, that's cool. How can you make this, or can you do this? And now you've got a income from what you were doing. You're donating to the charity for whatever you're doing, but now these people want to buy things from you. And this works. I mean, it absolutely works.
I just want to say something too. I read in the news the other day, they said that 1.7 million cars in this United States were repossessed. And it's the highest ever in U.S. history this year alone. And they were saying that some people are making a decision whether to pay their car payment or pay their rent. And I've seen my channel, as well as Roger, as well as Steve's, change. And when I say the change is that I would say, and I speak for myself, and you guys should speak for yourself, but initially was a lot of reviews. We've scaled back on that. The whole idea of the Shop Talk Live is to be more intimate with our followers, with our subscribers, and to the community, to be able to answer questions, to help people, not necessarily sell them something with an affiliate code, but help them in the industry to be able to supply a supplementary income to their family. So that there are hobbyists who are doing this just for a hobby, because it is therapeutic, 100%. Like if you're stressed from work, this can definitely be a decompressor. Woodworking would definitely do that for you. But there are also a lot of people, I would say a bulk of the people, who are not doing it for fun. They're looking for a secondary income or a primary income, because they're not happy in their current position. There's an old saying, like, sometimes you got to take a job while looking for a job, right? So you're in a job that's a job. It's not your career, right? So we're in high economical times. I don't see things changing immediately. So I just want to make sure that everyone's aware that when we go on these topics and we start talking about something, don't ever think that you're throwing us off topic by asking a complete different question than what we're talking about. These live questions and answers are not scripted. They're literally anything that you guys have to ask us. So if it's about how to promote your YouTube channel, how to promote your business, how to come up with a niche, what equipment should you buy, any question that you have, this is the reason Roger, Steve, and I have lives businesses that we operate. So we take this time to really be able to help people, not just for views. Because trust me, if you look at any one of our other videos, we get a lot more views on our other videos than these videos. But these videos help a lot of people. So if you have questions, ask, because
Yeah,
that's what we're here for.
it's usually a starting point for a lot of people, right?
You know, our whole thing is that we all, you know, we've talked quite a bit about having a side hustle, which, you know, is a secondary income. And yeah, it can be difficult to get into that niche. But once you find your niche and you get a good clientele, you'll do well with it. I've been fortunate with a lot of the stuff that's come my way has been literally by accident from other stuff I've been doing. But the same thing can happen with you. You're making something, and somebody sees that. Well, that's cool. You know, can I get that? And if you get involved with businesses, my big thing is B2B, business to business. You know, you might get somebody that wants, you know, hey, I want 4 coasters with my initials on it, whatever. Well, yeah, I can make that. Then you get a business. Oh, yeah, this is cool. Can I get 100 of those? You betcha. You know, it's a good income.
Yeah, I do B2B too. It's just, I mean, I don't sell, like, I don't have a sales channel other than word of mouth, right? I mean, I could advertise, but I'm not going to. And usually it's people who come and say, well, you did some work for this guy over here, law office or something. Can you do something like that for me as well? And that's generally how you can get started at that. It's not easy. Like, anyone who thinks starting a business, any kind of business, is easy is just dead wrong. Like, don't start it if that's your goal. But once you get things going, things turn pretty fast. And I mean, Jim Hamilton's on the live stream here. He's my inspiration for this because he just went through this. He started from nothing, and all of a sudden he's got business coming out his ears. And you know, his biggest problem now is when something doesn't work to get something done, as opposed to how do I make something happen, right? And you know, that's, like, I'm shocked actually at how quickly he.
Yeah, I'm happy
grabbed
for him
onto this
too.
and
And
took off.
he has been in contact with me. He wants to come and visit my shop and see what a mess it is, and he's more than welcome. It's just that when he originally wanted to come, I was so busy with Halloween products I had to get sold, because I also do sell on Etsy, mostly for advertisement, anything else. But now that once Halloween winds down, Jim, if you're still on here, you're more than welcome to come here sometime before November 23rd.
Yeah, you
I'll be
wanted
in
to come November
Mexico.
8th, but November 9th is my birthday, so I don't think I'll be able to make it in. We'll see.
Jim can come and see me too, but it's probably a little longer drive.
Well, if he's up by Chicago, that's only about 2.5 hours. So
yeah, it's in Joliet.
Joliet.
yeah, it's 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's probably 18 hours to get to me, maybe more, if he's driving.
So one of these days we have to go to a convention. All 3 of us meet. That would be awesome, actually.
One of these days. A couple of companies have asked me if I was going to CES this year, and I was like, yeah, I'm not crossing the border this year.
Yeah,
like, it's just.
Well, I did have a thought
situation.
earlier it was in late summer, and I talked to Rick about it, was I would come to his house and we would do our live stream from his house that night. But it just didn't work out. We both got too busy with our lives, and
yeah.
But at some point, you know, we may do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll have to sleep on Rick's couch.
That's fine. I have a 5-bedroom house and 2 kids, so you'll have a bed to sleep in.
I have a 4-bedroom house with no kids here.
Yeah. Here, Chris will say the first thing that I print are accessories for the 3D printer, and I think a lot of people do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what 3D printers get used for is to print better parts for your 3D printer. That's a trend that's diminishing, though. Like, there's not really a lot you can do to improve a bamboo. I mean, yeah, you can put a poop chute on the back or something, but it's pretty much perfect the way it is, right? Like, it's not.
You can make some desiccant boxes for the AMS.
Yeah,
and
that one is necessary. Yeah.
So I have a question for the audience who are in here live. What did you start with? What do you have now? So whether it be a laser, whether it be a 3D printer, a CNC? What did you start with? What was your start with, and what is your go-to now? You may still have that, but now it's been replaced. Like my go-to laser before was the Ateza V35. Now my go-to diode laser is a longer V1. What did you start with, and what is your go-to? The reason that I'm asking this is because other people who are in the audience are going to be able to see this growth, and it's not just one individual like you're saying. Hey, it was a fluke that this guy had a $200 laser, now he has a $2,000 laser. Let's do a little inspiration for each other here.
Yeah,
let us know.
I started. I gave my nephew a 3D printer, a little cheaty printer that I reviewed a while back, and now he's got a laser. And when I was talking to him the other day, he's talking about CNC now, so he's ramping up really quickly, and he had never done any of this before.
Oh, I'm gonna really relate to this. He's got a comment here. So went to double check the price of cork coasters from his supplier on Amazon. Guess what? And hey, let the tariffs begin. I'd buy neoprene 3.5-inch square coasters from AliExpress, and in the past they were $217 per thousand. Now they're $370 per thousand.
So
because of the tariff.
The price jumped up so high on Amazon. I got 5,000 slate coasters sitting in my house. Now, I've been digging into them, but nowhere near, right? I was like, I may make more money just selling the blanks on Amazon than selling the actual, because how cheap I bought them.
Yeah, you can do that.
Well, yeah, and they're already in the country, right? So
right.
Well, my thing with the neoprene coasters is that's what I do. Probably 80% of our stolen from coasters on for bars because they're so cheap, and the bars love them, and they're washable. If they hang around there and get dirty, they just throw them in the sink and wash them, and they're good to go again. But
it's important what Jim set up those, because if you're selling something and you have a large inventory that you're pulling from, to make sure that you adjust your price accordingly when you have to re-up, right, to rebuy that inventory. And all of a sudden you may find yourself in some difficult issues. So maybe you can slowly increase that price so you don't have the sticker shock to your existing customers or new customers.
Now I'm going to throw something out here while we're talking about coasters, because not everything turns out perfect, and we like to talk about stuff that doesn't come out right. Well, I had to do a batch of what they call car coasters. They're the little 2.5-inch round ones with a little slot in the side you put in your car cup holder. I was running a bunch of those for a business, and I had the design all laid out. So I ran a batch of 36 of them on the heat press. 36 of them were crap.
Well done, you.
You couldn't read the logo. And they were off center, and I'm like, oh, why did I not do a prototype first? And I know better.
I've done the same thing. It's like, oh, it'll be fine. This is really easy, and then you realize they're all off by
a
quarter of an inch.
So Chris is saying he usually recommends lightweight version of the Vivor CO2s. Only need a chiller, and the smaller ones anyone higher comes with a chiller. What I use on my Monport K40 is what they would more call a heat exchanger. It's not a true chiller, but it does fine on a K40. It does just fine. I've never overheated it.
No, me either.
Yeah,
so I have the
you can't go much over 45 watts though with a non-refrigerant chiller like the 3000 as opposed to the 5,000.
I have the refrigerant Monport for my PW CNC water cooled, but I have the what do they just call it, a chiller on the Monport K40, but they're both Monports.
Well, the heat exchanger is like K3000.
Yeah, I was just trying to look at it. I had some scrap wood blocking the number. I was trying to see what it was.
And something I did with mine, if anybody out there is thinking about getting a K40 and going with the heat exchanger on it, and I've got a video on my YouTube channel on how to do this. I put a relay in there, so as soon as the laser starts, the heat exchanger pump starts. Automatic. It's done with a little relay. It's very, very simple to do.
And if you're not handy like Roger, you can buy switches that have that as well, like a
Yeah,
power strip.
that's true. Yeah. So
Mine
Jack,
just comes on when I turn my laser on.
Yeah.
Jack in the shop saying every time I see a Facebook post about a laser burning up, reminds me to clean mine out. Yeah, you do need to keep your honeycomb board cleaned up. If you got little pieces that keep falling down in your honeycomb board, you don't clean them out, you're going to end up with a fire eventually.
The other thing is that we had early on in our lives, we were showing our fails, right? And I showed one of my fails that caught on fire was plywood. Now, I was making a ton of these engravings, and just one of them hit it, and it was like a sparkler and just lit up and went on flames. Now, people get complacent when they do things. They say, I've made 100 of these, 50 of these. I was standing 5 feet from it, but nothing ever happened. And that's when they go to the bathroom, they take a shower, or they leave or go to bed and think it's going to be fine. And then all of a sudden they cause a fire. And you see these people like bashing that manufacturer, whatever it be, is on Facebook, like, crappy laser, look what happened. It's like, no, you left the room. Because if you wouldn't have left the room, there's no way it could have got that big of a fire. You'd have died it out.
So you skipped over this question, which was about the Monport. It's the Monport Reno 45, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they probably renamed it. Mine's several years old.
Yeah, I've never seen
No,
this.
they still have the K40. This is the newer version of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the K40. It's the Reno series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris is saying his honeycombs get cleaned every 3 or 4 car washes. That'd work too. Like I say, I have pressure washers, and it's right there by the shop, so I use it all the time. So
yeah, but if you're going to go to the trouble to get your pressure washer out, you might as well wash the honeycomb too.
Yeah.
Look at this from Tony.
Yeah, Tony's saying don't need tats, got 8 spots. Well, tats will cover that up. They can blend them in. Actually, the artist that was doing my tat today, I'm 68 years old, and he told me, he says, you have skin like a 20-year-old. He says, what do you do? I says, I don't know. I guess I eat the right crap or something. I don't know what, but
maybe he's competing with Jay Don't Play for your affections.
Yeah. I haven't seen Jay Don't Play on here in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
No, I have to message her. She's been the thing is, it's becoming the end of magnet fishing season, so maybe she'll be a little more active.
Should be bored.
Yeah. What's the difference between the Cobra 3 and the 3V2? Are you talking about the Cobra 3 Max from Anycubic and the Creality 3V2? There's a huge difference if you're talking between the Cobra Max and the Creality 3V2. The Cobra Max has a much larger work area, and the Creality 3V2 is an okay entry-level bed slinger printer, as long as you don't need tech support. I mean, it is an okay printer. I do badmouth Creality a lot, but they have some decent printers as long as you don't need tech support.
Yeah, well, if you once you kind of get into the CO2 laser maintenance fold, you don't really need tech support after that anyway, because most of the time the things that go bad are like alignment, and it'll terrify you the first time you have to do it, and then you'll go, that wasn't so bad. And
Jim said, why are you selling it? Wants to make sure you're not giving up hope.
No, Jim has actually been looking for a fiber laser, so
okay,
this might be a match made in heaven.
There you go, Juan.
Both of you send a message to one of us, and we'll hook you up.
So look at this one. So Rick, I pulled the trigger and ordered the Adam Stack 70 watt. We had talked about, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
It said that why are so many people bad mouthing it? And most people just being honest, they can't afford it, right? So they do get a lot of flack. People saying like you don't buy a laser to cut a 2x4, and that's true. But
Well, I say that.
yeah, and it's true. That's not exactly why, but that is a badass laser. Congratulations.
Yeah,
And
I mean, it's
if I'm
definitely.
if I'm cutting 2x4s, I got a really nice DeWalt miter saw for that.
Yeah, I tell you what. I know you do a lot of traveling and you listen to our lives, but at any point, if you are home, and you could join the live and show that off, and I'd love to see it.
Yeah,
Or at least share on Facebook some of the things you made. That's what you should do. If you're still working, share some of the things you do make with that 70 watt on our Facebook group, and we'll definitely share it during the live. I'm interested to see.
yeah, just to prove people wrong, right? That
Yes,
it's a decent laser. I
yes.
mean, it's for cutting mostly. Like, let's face it, but
Yes.
it's it's if you're engraving, you're going to do it really quickly.
Okay, Spectrum Reality is asking this question to me. It's going to ask you, Roger, if you set up your camera on your double extended longer array. I'm sure he's talking about the Ray 5 unit. I bought one, but it only came with a stock pole. I have a feeling it would need to be higher to capture. I am one of those people that, with the very, very slim exception of my WeCreate lasers, I do not use cameras. I have no use for them.
Yeah, you're not the exception. And I'm glad you clarified that it's the longer ray, not longer raw.
Yeah,
because that has a whole different implication.
Yeah. So the entire work area, and then Ray.
Yeah, it's a Ray 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Longer, I mean, the longer Ray 5, I have no qualms with that. I have one that I've extended to 800 millimeters for a work area, and I do use it for large signs. That's the only thing I use it for. But again, I do not use cameras with the exception of my WeCreate lasers.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw another thing out there. I want to get some of our viewers and listeners' opinions on this. Something came up on one of my YouTube videos, which had nothing to do with the video, but they had heard listening to our live stream that I was going to be taking my wife to Mexico for 3 weeks during November. And they're like, so the comment, and it got to be so nasty that I actually had to delete the whole thread. Why are you spending your money on a frivolous vacation when you should be saving it to inheritance for your kids? Okay, let's hear what people have to say about that. Because in my opinion, I worked for this, I earned it. My kids, and they make their own living. They can earn their own money and take their own vacations. I am not saving up money just to leave it to my kids. So I want to hear everybody's opinion on that. What do you think?
So I'll tell you what I said to my kids. I have 2 boys. They're on their own. They're both working. I told them if I die and there's still money left in my bank account, it's because I didn't have enough fun.
Yeah, that's true.
So I have Roger. The whole thing is to me is that I grew up a very poor kid, right, and had nothing. So in my family, I'm pretty accomplished, and I would say that in my own eyes, I have a long way to go. But I made sure that I am insured enough more than I'm worth, because I always told my wife, if I die tomorrow, because what we do is dangerous, I didn't work this hard for you to lose everything I worked hard for. And I think there's a difference for being able to maintain providing for my kids as my kids are younger and they're still home. But when I have an empty nest, I think my priorities will change, right? And I think that's the difference between where I'm at in my life right now and where the both of you are. You paid your dues, and I'm still paying my dues. I'm not at that point yet.
Well, one of the comments that came back, and I'd never commented on this whole thread. I ended up just deleting it because there was a lot of profanity in it eventually. But I assume it was a woman, said that, you parents should be saving your money up and not taking, trips and spending your money. You need to save it for the kids so they'll have a better life. Well, I mean, I have 2 sons. My wife has a son and a daughter. They're both on their own. They're successful. My 2 sons, one's an electrician, IBW. The other one's an electrical engineer for the company I used to work for. You know, he's not an electrician, so he's not in the IBW. He's an electrical engineer. He's got 2 degrees in both electronics engineering and electrical engineering. He makes way over 100K a year. I don't need to save money up for them. You know, my wife and I, for what years we have left, we want to enjoy each other as much as we can.
Yeah.
Roger, I think it's important what you just said. For the years you have left, what do they say? You work 50 to 60 years of your life to enjoy like 12. Like, think about that. You know,
Yeah. I mean, I worked in the field as an electrician, electrical engineer for 42 years, and then another 5 years as a consultant. I'm done with that now. I don't do it anymore at all. But you know, it's just I'm going to use my money the way I want to use it. If I want to buy another laser, I'll buy another laser. I want to buy another printer, I'll buy another printer. I mean, it's
right.
my
And
money. I
because,
want to do with it what I want.
and because of the side hustle, you also have the luxury of you're not necessarily touching your bill money, so to speak, right? And that's how you're able to go to Mexico and do those type of things, enjoy life a little bit more comfortable.
You know, and the whole thing too is, and we've talked about it before on here. The trips I take are not coming out of my retirement. They're not coming out of my savings. They're coming out of what we do on our what everybody calls a side hustle. It's a side business that pays for it all. And you know, we don't fly coach. We fly first class. I mean, we live it up.
Yeah.
But we are at the age that, you know, in my opinion, we deserve it. So what other people think, you know, I'm interested to hear what other viewers have to say about it.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, I mean, my general frustration around all of that stuff is like you look at what's happening to the next generation of kids, and it's like they wake up. Like, I mean, I've seen it in tech because I worked in tech, and I mean, you'd get people, you'd hire them right out of school, software engineers, and they'd work for a couple of months, and then they'd come to you and say, "When am I getting promoted? When am I getting a raise?" It's like you've been on the job for 2 months, you know nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that whole sense of entitlement thing, it just sets people up for disappointment in the real world, right? Like it's my frustration with like in school where everybody was competing at some event and then everybody got a ribbon. It's the participation ribbon.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was hard on my kids, but I wanted to prepare them for life, right? Because, you know, I mean, my mantra to them was, you got to remember, you know, second place is reserved for the first loser, right? Like you got to try hard because life is hard. And like, I think the problem is I don't know what it's like in other countries, but here we pander a lot. Like it's really hard to fail a kid in school here. And that kid is going to graduate with apparently some kind of diploma, but then they're going to hit the real world and they're going to get, I mean, they're going to end up with psychological problems because the world isn't going to pander to them, right? Yeah. And I didn't want my kids to be in that shape. So, I mean, having said that, they're going to be looked after because, I mean, I'm not going to be able to spend the money I have anyway. So, because I'm not a huge traveler anymore. I spent my whole career traveling. So there's not many places I want to see that I haven't already seen. But it is one of those things. Like, you spend, you know, your whole career working, and then when you retire, you want to do things with your significant other, and you know that costs money. And you know, it's
what you need to do yet is take a trip down under and see some of them spiders and snakes I got down there.
Yeah, see, that's the one place I haven't been that I wouldn't mind actually going. Except
me too.
You know, I'm just afraid that like everything there is going to try and kill me.
Yes.
No offense, Chris, and you know, there's a couple of Aussies on, but it's tough, right? Anyway, back to our thread here. So Jim is asking me, having said that I usually dump lasers when I'm done reviewing them. Jim is asking me if my Titan is 50% off. No, I'm still using it. And it would probably cost you as much as a new one just to get it across the border these days. So
I don't understand this comment. You don't put in your D's number. Is this when is 100? You guys got any? If you don't have it in the description, what episode? Oh, when is 100?
Oh, it's currently scheduled for December 24th, but we have to move that, right?
Yeah,
Probably
we're
in
not going to
January.
do it on Christmas Eve because
No. Or New Year's Eve.
Yeah, we have family here on Christmas Eve, so we're going to have to move that into January further.
And we'll make sure that everyone's well aware when that's going to be in advance.
And we'll talk about it just a little bit and give it an advanced thing. So this laser giveaway will be a laser of my choice from my stock, and it will be shipped to the winner for free if you're in the continental 48 states. If you are elsewhere, you're going to have to deal with shipping and whatever tariffs or VAT or whatever else comes up.
Yeah, I'll probably do a Canadian giveaway.
Okay, nice.
And we could actually have 2 giveaways if you want to do one
There you
for
go.
Canada. We'll do one for the US, and
that'd be awesome, Steve.
One for Canada. Well, we got to do something for Europe too, and Australia, because we have quite a few people in those areas. But we'll see. I mean, I can't ship into the US right now. It's just too crazy. There's too much paperwork, and in the end, it's going to cost somebody what a new laser would cost. So it's not worth it.
Now, Chris is saying he's trying a new niche marketing avenue, non-laser live stream channels. Well, ours is not strictly lasers. You know, we're CNC and 3D print and sublimation and woodworking and whatever you want to bring up. Yeah,
we're a maker's channel.
Yeah,
right. So there you go. Said, oh, he sees episode 89.
Yeah, this is 89 right now, tonight. Oops, sorry.
Star of Texas is DIY saying this excellent point, Rick. Appreciate it. Stephen Roger.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not about whether you look after your kids or not. It's about preparing them for life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, one of my kids owns his own house already, so I don't think he has to worry. And the other one, he's a nomad by definition, so he's a music producer guy. So
yeah, Star of Texas designs DIYs, and Rick could probably relate to this too because we screw with apprentices horribly. I remember the days I was a first-year apprentice with a cool foreman. Then I would look for the pipe stretcher all day on a 16 garage parking build. Yeah, they also make a wire stretcher and then you send somebody to the tool crib for a bucket of steam.
And, I used to do a lot of work on the tollway, and when you get behind the wall, because they have these barrier walls, to get in a breakaway, it could be a 2 or 3 mile walk, and your car's parked on the other side. I'd say, "Can you go give me a flashlight?" It's during the day.
I had an apprentice once that it was driving me nuts. It was like a puppy that was like right by your leg all the time. And we were laying out, so we were putting in new switch gear. We were laying down some 4C channel on the floor, steel, and we was going to get anchored to the floor. He goes, "How are you going to fasten that down?" I said, "Tell you what, go to the tool crib and get a package of concrete rod, and we'll weld it." And away he went. And it wasn't 5 minutes later, the guy on the radio, "Roger, would you quit sending people for crap like this?"
Yeah. Oh, we used to put baby powder in their vents in their trucks because their trucks sitting there all during the day. So hot. First thing you do is put your AC on full blast.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are evil.
Yeah. It's called a hazing process.
ATB marketing, it says 98% of my business is B2B. I try not to do custom. When I'm asked if I can do custom, I say yes, if you buy quantities of 12. That usually turns them off. I do customs, but in quantities. And I do customs, but I charge accordingly. So if it's a small quantity, if you want a set of 4 coasters and a holder, and it's a one custom, one off, it ain't going to be $10.
No,
you're right.
You're looking at 25 or 30.
Yeah, but at the same time, if somebody came to me and said, "I want 100 coasters," I would not be super excited about it.
Yeah. So I posted this question on our Facebook group because my wife was mad at me. She's a member of all these mom Facebook groups, and she's like, "Oh, somebody wants this," or "Oh, somebody wants that," and I said, "Well, it's $135. It's not. I'm not even going to turn a piece of equipment on for that." And she said, well, these people are selling hundreds of those. And I said, let them have it. You know, and I'm not being arrogant or whatever, but to me, $35 is like really low, you know. And on the Facebook group, some people were posting, you know, hey, I'm right with you. Some people are above me, and some people are all down to $10. And but I think that's just what you personally chose to do, you know. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to that.
We had a thing here, about 2 weeks ago. We set up and we were selling tumblers. I do these 20-ounce sublimated skinny tumblers. We sell my granddaughter too. We sell the hell out of them. Buy by the pallet. We sell so many of them. And I made up a bunch of them that said "witchy woman," a little sign of a gal standing there with a broom like a witch. And a woman come up to me and says, do you do any custom work? And I said, well, what do you want? Can you make this say "bitchy woman"? I said, well, yeah, I can. Well, how much? And I'm thinking about it. And I said, well, how many do you want? Well, I just want one. $30. No problem.
Yeah.
As long as you're going to make money.
It was just a matter of changing the W to a B in my text, but
Right.
it was a one-off thing, and I was running another batch anyway. My granddaughter got a kick out of it, but
There you go.
maybe we should make more of those. But I can't put them out. I can't put something like that out that's family friendly.
Right.
And I did do a craft show this past weekend. Normally I don't do that, but I did do a craft show, and while we were setting up the stuff, we sold over $300 worth of coffee mugs. So yeah, I was really amazed. Okay, Tony's asking, do I have a round to it to show? If I was in my loft studio, I would. Up in our loft of the detached garage out there. I got a studio up there too. And I do have a bunch of round to it's laying on the table that I made for samples. I don't have any of them down here because everything I do down here is strictly 3D print.
What is round to it, Roger?
Okay, it's a round wooden coin, and it says round to it, and it'll have the business name, and it'll say good for one drink, or maybe one well drink, maybe good for one beer, maybe, and we make them in different colors, good for one top shelf shot. And if you go into a bar and somebody's buying a round, and I've already got a beer here, I don't want another one here, it'll get warm. They'll give you what they call a round to it. So when you get a round to it, then they can turn that back into the bar and they get their drink. But the big thing is, a lot of people think, well, this is cool, I'm going to keep that as a souvenir. Okay, in order to get that, somebody paid for that drink.
Yep.
The bar made the money. Now they don't have to make the drink or give the beer or whatever. It's money for the bar. And I make the hell out of them. And what I make them out of is actually scraps from when I'm doing cutouts on 1/8" plywood for other projects. You've always got that like border. Well, they're only the size of a quarter, and you can make a lot of them out of scraps.
So the one thing that I would say is to what Roger's saying is that I'm pretty sure that the price is reflected upon scraps. But if you ever run into yourself a situation where somebody says they want a very large quantity, where you'd have to purchase material now, that could affect your price margin, right?
I just had that happen here 2 weeks ago. I had to make some pumpkins for a PTA. I said, well, how many do you want? And they go, these 3-inch pumpkins, these are cut on 1/8" plywood, 200. Well, the price just went up because I had to go buy a sheet of 1/8" plywood to cut that many pumpkins out of.
Right.
The answers are starting to come in here. So Jim said he started with an Ortour 10-watt. Now he's got a 5-watt UV laser and a 30-watt CO2 Galvo laser.
Yeah, Mark says he started with a 20-watt laser. I started with a 3.5-watt, like generic thing that was actually a combination part of a 3018 CNC. And I actually ended up using the laser more than the CNC. And from there, I bought an Ortour Laser Master 1.
Vintage.
That takes you way back. So Ozzy and Trucker says started with a longer 10-watt. Now have two 10 watts, one 20 watt X2 F1 light. And tomorrow an out of stock 70 watt is coming. There you go.
Big Daddy.
The big deal. Yeah. Chris said his first laser was an Atom Stack P7 and was and a 3D printer that was a clone of an Ender 3. Why would anybody clone an Ender 3?
Oh, they were doing it for a while.
And his first CNC was a 3018. You have my sympathies right there. He bought them because he could afford to bin them if he didn't like the experience. Yeah, that's the thing, right? There is an advantage to starting out with the cheapest thing you can get, especially if you don't really know what you're getting into. But the danger is, especially with something like a 3018, it's going to taint your view of, in that case, CNCs, right? You're going to think, well, is this what CNCs are about? This is terrible. I'm never going to buy one of these. And so you got to find that balance between like really cheap and actually functional.
Yeah, Mark Frillo is saying now I'm a 40 watt laser, a 4040 CNC, and a 3D printer. We're just a hobbyist, so there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah. You can go into your shop and make something.
Actually, my biggest CNC is a 4040.
Steve said in one of our lives that the one thing that he appreciates being retired is to be able to sit in his shop and say, what do I want to make today?
Yeah.
So to be, there's no shame in saying you're a hobbyist, but I would just say, as you start to collect more and more, be careful because it could soon turn into a
and I mean, for me, like I do enough business to keep myself busier than I want to be. But it's not to the point where it feels like a job. So there are days when I can take my cup of coffee out to the shop and sit there and go, maybe I should try that today. And, it's something totally off topic. Lately, it's been crazier than I want it to be. So I can't do that lately. But that's kind of my goal. At least once a week, I should be able to go in the morning and say, what do I want to do today?
That's cool.
Yeah, I do a lot of the same thing. I wake up in the morning and I don't really have a whole lot to do. I do have some things to do, but what can I come up with today? And something we talked about before we went on the live stream, because I've always talked about me being busier than a one-legged dog covered in a bone on a marble floor. But I took a part-time job as a bartender.
Oh wow, I didn't know this.
No, well, I was told Steve about it before we went live tonight. Yeah, but my shift is from 3 to 9.
Okay.
So it's not like really late because I can't stay up late anymore. But
it's the drive home crowd.
Yeah, it's only a couple nights a week, and I like interacting with people. I haven't been a bartender since back in the 1970s. Yes, everybody, I'm that old, but I am going to be doing it again for a while. So Tim Sands says here, started with the IKEA's K170 watt Pro diode. And I own the X-Tool P2, an F1, an apparel printer, Commarker Omni, one UV and one B4 20 watt. UFE E1 still on its way. And the latest add-on is a Genmitsu 4030 V2.
Yeah, he just got the
There's a lot. He's got a nice setup.
He's hooked.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a business though, so.
Yeah, but he's gone down the rabbit hole like all of us.
Yeah.
Now, Zenturo is saying he hates neoprene sublimation blanks. I'm not the biggest fan of them, but I make so much money with them, I can't pass it up. Okay, Bosnian Trucker saying, where do you guys buy slate coasters? I'm selling $300 to $500 a month. What's the best place to buy? Mine is AliExpress. Where do you get yours, Rick?
Alibaba.
Alibaba, same kind of thing.
Bosnian Trucker, you can just buy yours from Rick. When you're driving past his place, just stop in and load up the truck.
Yeah, I bought mine from Alibaba a while ago, so when I got them really cheap.
Well, I bought mine
for 3 cents a piece.
but I would think
my stock too was before the tariffs.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to pay the tariffs on them. But
Yeah.
My thing now with the neoprene coasters is I'm gonna have to pay the tariffs. So I'm gonna have to tell the bars the price is gonna go up.
Right. I think everyone just, whether they want to hear it or not, they know it's coming, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it says you can
so
buy from
Cool.
Michael's. I think they're like $4 or $5 a piece, right?
I gotta say, Michael, that's a little high. That's like buying from Hobby Lobby.
I bought some
Yeah.
from Michael's a while ago, and they were dirt cheap.
Were they?
Yeah, I don't know if they were on sale, so I saw them. It's like they can't possibly. I think it was like, I don't know, $7 for 4 of them, and I thought I'm not going to find these cheap anywhere else, so I bought them all. And they had a nice rope ribbon around them and stuff. So it was good.
Well, speaking of things of finding something on sale and buying them all, I was at a Dollar Tree last week to actually pick up some paper towel holders for another project. But they had vinyl for like you use on a die cutter, a Cricut, or a Cameo. $1/4 a box.
So Roger,
I bought them all.
I don't know if you've ever heard of them, Roger. It's called the Sign Outlet. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah.
It's in Lisle, Illinois. It's local
Yeah.
to us. So if you ever go into the store, because they have up to 60-inch rolls, somebody doesn't want a 60-inch roll. They want a 20-inch roll. They call them lop-offs. You can buy the lop-off, whatever that extra was, for like $1.
Well, that's
So
cool.
that is insane. And then so that's insane, just walking there. And like I've bought like 3M high reflectant high vis vinyl, and that stuff is outrageous. And I bought a 12-inch roll for like $1. You know what I mean? And so the cool thing is that if you buy it and you walk in, they give you a better deal, and then they have some kind of reward program. But it's one of the largest vinyl distributors in the area, in the Midwest, and they're local to us. So that's cool to be able to go in there. So even if you were to ship, Roger, it'd probably be a lot cheaper than obviously someone getting across the country. But I'd say it'd at least be worth your while at one point in time to just walk in just to see it. And the cool thing about them is that, and I'm not affiliate in any means, is that everything they sell, they also do. So if you want a vinyl cut, they can cut it for you. If you want something UV printed, they can print it for you. If you want a banner printed, they can print it for you. And what they're basically doing is they're helping you build your business to a point. They're trying to sell you that piece of equipment that they're using to do it for
Oh,
yourself.
sure. No.
Right?
Yeah.
They're like drug pushers.
Yeah. Oh, you like that?
Yeah, hey, we'll give you this one for free.
ATB Marketing is saying, I don't have anything yet, but as far as what you've said, I'm going to start with a laser engraver. BC1, I think they're cool. And 2, I think business-wise, I get my money back fairly soon. What's the BC1? That's kind of got me.
Because.
Oh, because.
He wants a laser engraver because, one,
yeah,
they're cool.
Yeah. So my only thing is that when you first get a laser, it can be, if you don't have an existing customer base, it can be overwhelming on what you want to do because there's so many things to do. I would just say explore, but find your niche.
Yeah, narrow it down to 2 or 3 products to start with, and
right, and then never give up on seasonal items. Halloween, Christmas, all those type of things. Every big box store jumps on that bandwagon. You should as well.
Yeah,
no matter what your niche is.
Business to business businesses don't care about seasonal stuff.
So Herb is saying start with an Atzer 20 watt to mark custom knives to make. Now a car marker B4 30 watt, a Laser Master 20 watt. Well, mostly paid for. Way to go.
Yep. ATB says not that CNC or 3D printers aren't cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just. I mean, 3D printers are reasonably cheap, but CNCs, if you're buying a CNC that you want to make something to sell to anybody, it's not going to be super cheap.
Blue Snowmac in Alaska saying had my first craft show this past weekend, about broke even and learned a lot. Craft shows can be what I call a crapshoot. And I rarely ever do one. Like I said, I did do one this last weekend, but I was also the only vendor. So I kind of had an advantage there. And I think by the time it was for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I think by the end of Sunday we were just under $3,000 in sales.
Nice.
So we did good. I did not have to pay for the space, although I did donate to the organization where we had the show at.
Nice.
Yeah, craft fairs are, when you go to a craft fair, a craft market, you have to assume that you're impersonating a business card at that point, right? Like your job is to make contacts, not really to sell things necessarily. If you do, great, but it's really just to get your name out there so people can remember you.
My wife's really been pushing me to want to do these craft fairs, and I've been hesitant to do them only for a few reasons. One, that I don't think I have a presence yet, and what I mean is I don't have a nice booth and this nice tent, and I think that makes a big difference when you go to these craft fairs. You can tell who are established crafters versus someone who's the first time pulling out the trunk, right? That makes a big difference. And two, the other thing is that they have inventory. You know, if you have 5 or 6 different things, you just don't look appealing to walk in. These people have invested in inventory. So yeah, a lot of my stuff is just one-offs, a bulk of something. I don't mass produce anything to be able to have that. And I would have to mass produce it and do like Raj at a crapshoot. Is this going to sell? So that's only been my hesitant.
Yeah, and the reason they can have inventory, well, it's a double-edged sword, right? They're carrying a lot of overhead with inventory, but they usually can get away with it because they've probably been doing the craft market thing for years, potentially, so they know what's going to sell and what's not, right?
Right.
So their inventory is stuff that they know they're going to move.
Okay, so Randy was asking here, getting back to the 3D printer thing about the Cobra 3 and the Cobra 3 V2 Anycubic. Yeah, they're both Anycubic printers. I have the Cobra S1, which is sitting right over yonder. It's out of camera view. And I have the Cobra 3 Max, which is up in our loft because I don't have room for it down here. But I do not have the Cobra 3 V2. But I do have the Ace for both my S1 and for the Cobra 3 Max. That's the multi-spool thing, kind of like what Bamboo has for their AMS. Anycubic calls it the Ace. Yeah, Chris is saying Blue Sumac in Alaska, learning is worth more than profit you make from early shows. And that's true. You're going to have to get your feet wet. And hopefully you don't have to pay a large entry fee. There is a craft show coming up here locally this weekend on the 24th and 25th that I was invited to do. But the booth charge for a 10 by 10 space is $300.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of different tiers of craft markets too, right? Like when you're starting out, you want something that's either free or really cheap, and that's like the Bush League circuit, right? And then you can graduate, and there's craft markets here where I live where designers will come to see them, because the people who are there aren't just like some guy selling coasters, they're artisans, right? And they've gone through a bunch of, we'll say, verification to see if they're worthy to actually have a booth there or a table there.
And this one here, actually, we had this discussion today. The artist that did my other one 20 years ago, and said, I thought you told your tat person to drink a lot of Modelo. He also likes Modelo. We had that conversation today.
And when he was doing your tattoo, he said he was 12 into them already.
Yeah. No, he's a great guy. He's very, very, very talented. I am just, the work he does is just phenomenal in detail and everything. I mean, it was hard to show this on here because I'm still wrapped in plastic from just getting it. But once it heals up, I'll show it how it shows and how it looks, and everything's in extreme detail. So Chris is saying I'd rather cut a 2x4 with a jigsaw than a laser. Yeah, I'd go with that.
Like I've had this discussion with manufacturers, right? Because for a while there, they were selling, you can cut a 3.5 inch thick piece of wood. And it's like, no one cares. No one's going to do that. And the same, like, you can cut round holes. Yeah, that's why they make drills, right? Like I said, you got to stop marketing things this way because, yeah, you can do it, but why?
This is for you, Rick.
A Bosnian trucker said, I got you, Rick. I bought it strictly for cutting. I make a lot of Bosnian flags and other objects. Yeah, so definitely when you make something, let us know and share it on the Facebook group. I'm really excited to see it.
He sounds like he could be a prime candidate for a CNC too.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, I went through a couple pictures up on our Facebook page of my little craft show thing set up. So
Yeah, I saw that. Look cool. You had a lot of cups.
a lot of them. So Chris is saying, yeah, I had to earn it. So will my kids, and that is my attitude completely. I earned it. My kids can earn it. I'm going to live. And Ellen says, vacation and enjoy your life, and that's my attitude completely. I enjoy it while I still can. Want to check out with Steve?
JM Creative says he started with a 3D printer, then a Cricut, went to sublimation, heat press, 10 watt, and IR laser, then a 20 watt, now a 30 watt, waiting for a UV. Yeah, he's getting there. He's set up.
Yeah, way to go.
Welcome to the addiction.
Yeah, Tony says he agrees with me. Well, thank you. Yeah, read the book Die Broke. Yep. I've heard of that book.
Yeah,
Jan's agreeing with me. Thank you.
My Bible for retirement.
Yeah, Herb saying the last check I write will bounce. Chris is saying, JMO, I forgot I used to have a Cricut and did sublimation. LOL. I also have a Cricut and I also do sublimation. I don't do much HTV. But we do a lot of sublimation stuff with tumblers and mugs and coasters.
I have a Cricut sitting right there, but I haven't plugged it in or turned it on in probably 2 years.
Well, mine gets a lot of use.
I got a roll in.
It did get a lot of use, but it's like, yeah, and I'm so past it now. Once you have a UV printer, something like a vinyl cutter especially for things like T-shirts is pointless.
Well, I never use it for T-shirts, but I use it for a lot truck decals and a lot of other things like that.
Yeah.
So ATB Marketing is saying, I agree with you, Roger. You paid your dues. You earned to do what you chose to do with your dollars. The kids should be able to take care of themselves at this altitude, and I absolutely agree. Oh, Gord is saying that already got me ticked off. Well, yeah, I can understand that. It did me too. Yeah, Roy is saying I live by saying if you don't fly first class, your kids will. Well, that's an interesting, that's an interesting perspective on that.
So I heard this saying one time. It said, your grandfather walked to work, your father drove to work, but then his kids walked to work again. It's basically saying like,
yeah, the variant I heard was the first generation builds it, the second generation enjoys it, and the third generation destroys it.
Yeah.
So they got to know they have the ethic of hard work in them, right? Because if everything's handed to them, they won't understand it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at, not that billionaires are a good example for anything other than how to hoard money, but most of the billionaires aren't going to give their kids money, right? Like it's like especially like the tech billionaires, because they started from nothing really, and now they're just insanely wealthy, but they're not going to let their kids inherit piles of money.
Yeah, and ATB Marketing is saying, however you get your dollars, it's yours to do what you want to with. You earned it. And that is completely my attitude.
Yeah, you don't need permission to spend your own money.
Yeah.
Herb says he's 77. The last check he writes is going to bounce too. I think I need a newer car.
Yeah, and Chris says you don't get participation medals from the School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
and that is absolutely true.
And that's
the way
my thinking too, right?
That's the way most of us learned. And I think Clack, who just put up here, he's going to relate to that too. You learn most of your stuff from the School of Hard Knocks. And I'm waiting for him to chip back in on that. because I know he's been there and done that.
Here's Clack.
He says
gonna
I
give
can
you
send
his
my account number if you all got extra if I created ways to spend it. I tell you what, I got a whole bunch of things planned for my extra. So Roger's saying people backed out. I won't be coming down this week.
Hey,
Yep,
Clack.
there's Clack. Chris says, nope, we're bred tough down under. Well, with all that critters down there, you'd have to be.
Yeah. Anyone who's over 20 and still alive has obviously learned how to deal with the snakes and spiders.
So Alan is saying Australia is amazing. I got the opportunity to visit while serving in the Navy. And like Steve says, I would like to visit down there. The thing that's held us back from going down to flying down under is my wife does not want to deal with the long flight time.
Yeah.
Alan, thank you for serving our country. Chris saying, actually, did you actually see anything deadly out there other than beer, right?
It's not that bad. We get Australian beer here sometimes. Not good stuff, I don't think, but
said bears scare him.
Saying bears scare me more than snakes and spiders. Well, of course, I'm too far south for bears here, but I've been up north.
We have a few bears around here.
Yeah.
Bobcats, you name it. There's lots of wildlife. We don't have a lot of squirrels, though, because we have bobcats around.
Oh, so Tony's saying you guys' knowledge is a great giveaway. Thank you. Well, Alan's saying there was a lot of VB and did a fishing trip. Actually met some guys at a bar and they funded us to a George Thorogood concert in Sydney. Oh, cool. That would have been cool. Always managed to have fun.
Sweet.
Chris saying I sent a newbie to another bank to borrow the scales to balance the general ledger. His mate there gave me their general ledger. Oops.
Whoops. Yeah, for sure.
All right, Dave at Blue Wave Designs. The 10-watt MacPow, and that is probably one of the ones we're going to be giving away for the 100th episode, the 10-watt MacPow. And then an S1, F1, and now an Omtech 60-watt. The wife ordered a Eufy make. She saw it at the Next Level Laser Conference. So, yeah, you've gone down the rabbit hole, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you know when you start sacrificing space in your residence for tools rather than conveniences like furniture, then you've hit the big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I posted on Facebook the other day that I'm selling all my man cave stuff. I'm officially gonna let it all go.
Yeah, who needs a sofa, right? When you can have a CNC.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm putting another full size CNC in the wood shop, so I'm going to be moving my dust collector, and so I said, all right, it's all going to go. So my wife is happy.
Up in my loft studio, there is a sofa up there. It has 3 lasers sitting on it.
Is it black?
It's dark colored, but I don't use the lasers on it. I just store them there because my rack doesn't have room for any more lasers.
I'm just joking because everyone knows what the black couch means.
Yeah.
So Star of Texas is asking about thoughts on the Snapmaker U1 with 4 printheads. Just finished the Kickstarter survey yesterday. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice looking 3D printer. I think ultimately Snapmaker may get crushed by Bamboo because Bamboo just came out with the H2C, which effectively does the same thing, but it's got 8 heads.
Oh, wow.
Or can have 8 heads. Now, I don't imagine it's cheap, but.
Yeah, Jim's saying 1 year ago, Michael, 70 cents each. I
think it was like that. It was just crazy low price. So I bought everything they had.
So he's asking Bozzy and Trucker what laser are you using to do your slate coasters. 2 till he answers, I will say all my slate coasters are done on the We Create 45. I've got that one set up just specifically to do nothing but slate coasters.
Dave said, "Have you made anything in your CNC yet?" Yes, I have. So I have the Onefinity and I have the PWN CNC spindle, but I accepted a CNC from PWN CNC. So I'm starting a series of videos. It actually should be sent out today, and the daybreak, I should say, the first CNC series will be on the PWN CNC, but I will not be.
Did
not
you
be
make that? Did you make that big wooden paddle yet that your wife can use on you?
You know, my wife hasn't ever been home when I've been using it, so it's one of the first things.
So she
But
doesn't know how noisy it is.
Well,
Yeah,
that
you know what-
and because of that, he needs to make that paddle and give it to her. And
yeah, so what's funny, Steve, is that I was looking at some point, and we all say, like, you know how Facebook, like, it looks at your Google history search on the right hand side. I keep seeing these different type of wool, like insulation that's like a noise detonation.
Yeah.
All these different advertisements coming up.
Soundproofing of some sort.
Yeah. So I was just laughing.
Yeah, that's what happens with the internet algorithms, right? When they know you have a CNC, they start selling you things to make it quiet.
Yeah, so I was actually thinking about, I forget what it's called. It's like that cork board with a bunch of holes in it that you can, use to hang tools or whatever.
Pegboard.
Yes, pegboard. I was
Yeah.
thinking about just screwing pegboard up and putting that baffling above it.
well, if you can find it, and it's actually pretty common. There's something that they call an egg crate, but it's a foam, and they use it in some studios.
Yeah.
I got
And
some
it
in
will
mind.
deaden sound. It just deadens it instantly. And
Yeah,
it's cheap.
it's like $1 or $2 for a 1 foot square of it. And
Yeah,
it's got adhesive on the back, and
It's cheap. You just stick it up, and it kills echoes and sound.
Yeah.
And
We'll see how much he starts complaining once we start using it all the time. Or when we have more than one running.
but when you turn it on, it's really quiet, right?
Yes.
It's not until you touch a piece of wood.
Yes, it's like a very little,
Yeah,
like
it's
very, 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 very little.
Spindles are really quiet.
Yeah, I mean, compared to a router, a router not even touching anything, it's loud, right?
Yeah.
Just being
Yeah,
hot.
there's no intent to make a trim router quiet.
Right.
But these things run super smooth, but the second you touch a piece of wood, it starts screaming.
Yes.
Star of Texas is saying, yeah, I think my Zelle isn't working. Can somebody send me something to see if it works? Dale is saying, if considering an Omtech CO2 laser, thoughts on their quality and customer support compared to others? I'm not familiar with that one, so I'll leave it to you guys.
They've been around a long time.
Yeah,
they're doing something right.
I don't personally, or have not personally owned an Omtech, but
Yeah, I haven't either.
I would say the same as Steve, is that they are more of a well-established brand, but I would say that you're also paying for a rebranded laser, so that we go to this whole thing: should you buy stateside or factory direct from China? When should you choose one or the other? And the real reason is support. So if you're buying an Omtech laser, the big difference is that a company that established has a toll-free number, Monday through Friday. Pick up the phone, I need help. So that's really what you're paying for. That would be my opinion, what you're paying for, because it's a rebranded laser.
Well, Chris is saying you use the foam packaging of lasers of 3D printers and CNCs is soundproof. Yeah, because you get a lot of foam packaging. Actually, I reuse that when we reship other stuff. I use it for packing.
Yeah.
I have a huge box that I save all my packing. I use it to reship out stuff.
Yeah, I recycle all that stuff. I don't just throw it in the trash can.
Yeah, it's actually not. I mean, it's better than like concrete for soundproofing, but it's actually not great soundproofing. The white foam, the polyethylene foam, well, sometimes it's black, but it's hard, right? So, and it's closed cells, so it doesn't really soundproof all that well.
Yeah, the open cell foam is great soundproofing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wool stuff, it's called wool something. I have to find it. But it looks like to me, it looks like that FR blanket, Roger.
Well, there's rock wool. That's
Yeah.
another
That's
thing
what
they
it is.
use in
That's
sound
exactly what it
studios.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock
Exactly what it is.
wool, fiberglass. They
Yeah.
do make compressed rock wool. It's about an inch thick, 4 by 2 by 4 foot sheet.
Yeah, it's brown.
Yeah. And you can just wrap cloth around that stuff. It's designed for soundproofing, right? And
Right.
it works really well. And it doesn't like the ones I have. I actually used like R12 type rock wool, so they're, I don't know, 3 inches thick or something. But these soundproofing panels, they're only an inch thick. I mean, you
Yeah, the
can
one I
cover your
seen,
wall with them.
they were like over 12 inches thick. Like it was.
Well, they're regular like ceiling tile
Yeah.
things, right? They're
Oh, okay.
they're 2 feet wide and 4 feet tall, or depending on which way you put them, I guess.
Oh, okay.
But and you can just wrap cloth around them. I put mine in a wooden frame and put cloth around it. And
Well, something we did this is back when I was still in the trade. I mean, this back probably in the 90s. We did a place with they had 2 sound studios for professional sound recording. And the walls were steel stud with all the studs were offset. And then they had this real thick rock wool. And then on the studio side where the musicians were playing, it was all covered with that, what they call convoluted foam.
Mm-hmm.
And when you were in the side where the guy was with the mixer and listening to everything, them guys would be cranking them guitars and them drum sets. You could not hear a thing.
Yeah, when my music producing son was living with me, I had a really nice sound studio in my basement, and it was like that.
Yeah, I'd say I'm gonna come to that at some point. Just like the Laser almost got kicked out of the house without the ventilation system. At some point, the CNC may get it without a soundproofing. I see it coming.
Yeah. Just build a box, a soundproof box for the CNC.
Yeah.
So Santa's Laser Engraving says, "Been a long day. Hope everyone is doing well. I wish I could see your shirt tonight. See if you can match up with mine because I know where Nemo is. And we'll see if your shop is still clean because mine sure isn't."
Which one of those is Nemo? This is like a Where's Waldo shirt for fish.
Yeah. Say Chris is saying he used suspended seating panels as a temporary sound muffling, and you could do that. And if you lay rock wool over the top of the seating panels, that helps a lot too.
Yeah. My whole logic of thinking with that, I already forgot the name, what it's called, the with a bunch of holes in it, like hang tools.
Pegboard.
My logic of thinking with the pegboard was that it's going to be a huge dust collection for whatever type of soundproofing I'm putting in there. So with the pegboard, I can take my air hose and spray it all out. At least that's what I was thinking. From sanding, everything I'm doing in this scenario, that just going to
think that the masonite base of that pegboard is going to reflect a lot of sound. So you're going to get sound bouncing back.
It's a pretty hard surface, so it'll bounce.
Yeah. So we'll see. Like I said, more to come on that, definitely. At some point in time, it's going to have to be a necessity, I'm sure. So we got 7 minutes left in the live. Appreciate everyone's comments, and thank you for sharing, your journey of what you started with what you have now. I'm sure that was inspiration to a lot of people, and it's also, when you get used to having things, sometimes you forget when you started, and when you start kind of reminiscing, so to speak, and say, "Oh, when I start with that," it really puts you in the views that, like, man, I guess I have come a long way. I guess I have accomplished a lot, because sometimes you want, and you don't realize how far you've come. So that could be a self pat on the back, so to speak.
Yeah, and I mean, the point is, I think everybody starts from zero, right? And it depends how much money you're willing to put in the pot to start with, but everybody starts with something and then upgrades.
Yes,
it's just how it works.
Or you dump it, like someone else was saying earlier in the life. Hey, I bought this. This wasn't the best laser. This wasn't the best CNC. But if this is something I said, I wouldn't feel too guilty of not saying, I'm not gonna do it. you know,
Yeah.
and that's okay, you know. So absolutely. Do you guys have any upcoming projects or anything for Christmas?
Not for Christmas.
Oh, I have Christmas. I've got a big thing we're doing for a craft activity for children to work with their parents. Is a bunch of laser cut Christmas ornaments, snowflakes and Christmas trees, and the kids can sit with their parents and color them and paint them however they want. Then they'll be able to take them home with them. So
So
it's going to be it's a big activity. It's coming up here in December.
very cool. So we say all the time that sometimes you make things not necessarily what you like. And yes, when you're making something you like, there can be an enjoyment out of making it. But your opinion always doesn't matter, right? So whatever the customer's willing to pay for. So a funny thing that I posted on Facebook, and I'm going to post it this weekend when they're finished. But something that someone kept asking me to make, more than one person, that I finally gave in. And when I said, fine, I'll make it, it was funny that how many people said, I want one. And it's these laundry basket organizers. They're literally made out of 2x4s. And they go from 2 baskets to 4 to 6, 8, you know, however you want. And they just hold laundry baskets and have 5 or 6 inches between them. These are selling for like hundreds, like money. Some are not even.
It's astounding, isn't it?
It's you know, but like I said, it was something I'm like, I'm not interested in making, you know, and it's like, can you make this? I'm not interested in making it. And then finally it's like, I'll make it. If I made this, who would be interested? And everyone's like, I have one. I'm like, what the heck? I guess I'm making them. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe you need to take a hit from Clack and branch out into the stove covers.
Yeah.
Branch out into what?
Stove covers.
Stove covers.
Oh, I know. And see, that was the point of nothing what we said. Something that some people kept asking me the stupid stove covers, and I finally said I was gonna make those. I haven't made them yet. But people are like, dude, that's for Christmas, man. You gotta make these. And I'm like, oh god. But the point of the basket thing is the holidays are coming, right? And people are decluttering, they're organizing because people are going to be coming over, and those type of things is something someone could have and want, you know, to declutter. And I was a cable guy before I was a lineman, and when I was a cable guy before I was a lineman, I don't care if it was a $7 million house or a $60,000 house. You'd be surprised when you walk into some of these people's houses that they don't have dressers. They don't have a dining room table. You know, like they have their bed's still laying on the floor. The mattress is on the floor. It's not even in a frame. You know, yeah. So don't look an exterior of a house, and you'll never know what's inside. You know, some people are very house poor. You know, so yeah.
Hey,
So
Rick,
if you are house poor, yeah. So if
Rick,
you are house poor,
check your email. Santa sent you a picture of his latest shirt.
okay,
We're going to compare it to what I've got on tonight. So
let's see. It's loading. Sorry, guys. You guys can go see if is there any more questions while I'm bringing that up?
Yeah,
So
if you want to pop down. So how's it going with the stolen from coasters? Lessons
Yeah.
learned so far. My first case of 1,000 is gone. I have not kept count. I'm well into the second case of 1,000, and that's how I found out that they went from $271 a case to $370 a case because of the tariffs. So, but the bars love them, absolutely love them. It's good advertising for them, and they're more than happy with them. Oh, hey, there we go. Yeah.
Cacti with snowmen.
No, it's cactus. Bunch of cactuses.
Are they snowmen?
Let me zoom in.
Oh, it's
Cactuses.
Snoopy.
Oh, yeah, Snoopy and the cactus. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know, Roger. That's pretty wild too.
You got some competition, Roger.
It's not as colorful as yours, but you know, it's definitely intriguing.
Actually, the bar I got a job at, we're going to have one Thursday night a week to be Wild Shirt Night.
Chris said, "I make what the customer wants. No judgment if they're paying."
That's true.
So I agree, but just sometimes you think, I could be wrong, and it's like it's not worth my time. Like I'm not gonna make this one off because anytime you make anything for the first time, I don't care what it is, it takes you longer because there's no blueprints, right? You're like figuring it out.
Yeah.
I literally went to Walmart. I bought a basket. How tall is this? How wide is this? Whatever, you know. Realistically, how cheap of a basket can I buy without it looking too cheap, right? But I don't want a $26 basket because then it's $100 in baskets without just the baskets, you know. So there's a lot of homework to go into it, you know. And then my wife said, you just bought $250 worth of wood to build all this. How many people want these? And I was like, honestly, the amount of people said they want them, I'm breaking, I'll make nothing. She's like, why would you do that? I said, because I'm not gonna just sell that. You know what I mean? Like, I already see the inquiries coming in. I'll sell every piece of wood I have, you know, making this. But yeah. So I get it, but just again, like Steve said, with the stove tops, I kept getting asked that, and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna be making them. So you know, sometimes you're gonna eat your own words, so to speak. Too funny.
Oh, this is funny. Chris is saying, in my youth, I took the bed apart and put the mattress on the floor. Easier to fall into the bed drunk and not so far when you fall out.
Yeah, this is the. I was going to ask you if you were in houses of like college students because that's a standard thing, right? No,
I was
no
in
bed
all
frame.
walks of life, all different areas. Yeah,
Yeah.
all different areas. Well, look, guys, look, we're at time. Thank you, Steve and Roger, for taking the lead on reading the comments. Give my throat a break. I appreciate everyone joining live, and see you on the next. Roger, Steve, you guys want to say anything on the closeout?
I think I'm good.
No, I'm
Thanks
good
for
here.
coming,
We'll see y'all next week.
Hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. Yep.
So
Bye.
thanks for joining us.
Take care, guys.